Welcome to the MTG Misfits show, where we specialize in standard and limited, but we also specialize in the big tournaments. We play for keeps over here. I'm joined by G.
What is up? Nice to see y'all here.
G right now is on a hot streak. He is crushing on Arena. And we're going to go over the weekend. He played the Arena Open Foundations, and he absolutely destroyed it. He ended up getting the day 2, draft 2, and going pretty deep, and we're about to break down his decks right now.
You know, this Arena Open is an exclusive Arena tournament that is limited, and day 1 is always sealed. So this set is pretty combat oriented because, you know, it's Foundations. They kind of are going back to like the roots of Magic, and combat really matters in limited. I just wanted to emphasize that I treated the weekend as an important weekend for me, like Magic wise. Like, hey, I'm going to put a lot into this. I want to feel good. What do I need to do for that? And that is, well, get some good rest, be ready for the weekend, and do a lot of practice. So I felt really, really confident coming into the weekend that I knew I want to be Esper if I can in sealed. You know, you don't always get that choice, but here we got a nice black and white deck, and that is within the Esper colors. So that's what we're looking at here.
It's funny. I say that you're running hot. Some people might say that you're lucky, but over here at MTG Misfits, it's weird because the more that you practice, seems like the luckier you get. I wonder if there's a correlation.
I wonder, yes.
So that's what it takes, guys.
See, I like to look at bombs and removal, you know, to see, all right, well, what's my sealed pool looking like? What direction is it taking me in? This was a very clear-cut black-white deck. Triple Burglar Rat. That's pretty insane because discard in sealed is way better than in draft, and it's already good in draft. But particularly in sealed, you have people, again, playing their bombs. They play late game spells. They're forced into certain colors that are slower. Burglar Rat is awesome at 2. And so the thing is, Tiny Bones, the Bobble Burglar, what he does is he allows you to use your opponent's spells, or cards, I should say, because you can even play lands off of that, if they discarded it. So any discard that you're making them do, bam, Tiny Bones grabs it and says, hey, do you want to play this land that they discarded for the turn? Sure, there's my land drop.
I can see what you're saying. Discard is always nice, like in draft, but it's like not a huge high priority. But what you're saying is in sealed, it's definitely a notch above of draft, having a discard power.
Oh yeah, sometimes games are just won based on heavy discards. So if you can see, this deck has multiple discards. I even forgot the Pilfer there. So not only do we have Burglar Rat times 3, we got Pilfer, Tiny Bones activation, and Arbiter of Woe at the top. So you can set up turns where you're like, okay, Burglar Rat on turn 2, make you discard something. Okay, Pilfer on turn 3, make you discard something. Right. And then now your opponent's like in a really tough spot because every card counts, because you've already forced them to get rid of resources, and you're using those resources that you did. So Burglar Rat comes in and makes them discard. It's not just the body that's going to sit there and chump block either. Sometimes you can sacrifice it to the Eaten Alive to exile something, right? Sometimes your Vampire Gourmand, that card is ridiculous, by the way. That's one of the all-stars of the set, I think. So 9 Lives Familiar happens to be very good in this deck because of that as well.
Yeah, right.
So Hungry Ghoul and Vampire Gourmand have that kind of combo with 9 Lives Familiar. It's like, all right, we'll just sacrifice this cat all day because it keeps coming back. So pretty sweet stuff there.
What would you feel like underperform where you thought this is a really good card and actually didn't find much use for it?
So first I'll start with what I thought was going to be an underperformer, and that's Vengeful Blood Witch on 2. I thought in this deck, well, I do have some stuff going on with sacrifice and things like that. Maybe it'll come up sometimes where I drain them to death or, get a little points of damage here and there, but it really is just the 1/1. I don't love the idea of having to run this. Oh no. That card really outshined any possibility I thought would have been like this is a filler card. It was my 23rd card or 24th card, I should say, because I'm running 16 lands here. Out of you.
So you started off 0-1.
Started off 0-1, and there is variance involved. My favorite word, variance in Magic, especially sealed. So let's run it back. And 7-0 after that, actually, because I went 7-1. You got to get 7 wins in best of 1. So I 7-0'd after that.
There you guys have it. There we go. The mental game is a big part. And G, you have proved your mental game is strong. Okay, so going to day 2, we're going to jump right into it to the next deck. Boom. Okay. It looks like the same colors. Looks like these colors are working, but now this is draft at this point.
I knew going into the draft portion, I wanted to be some Esper type deck. So whether it was blue-white, black-white, blue-black, one of those definitely wanted to be. And begrudgingly, I would be any other color. My pack 1 pick 1 was Sky Knight Squire. And so that's a pretty powerful card. Very happy to be in white right away and pick a busted rare. Arbiter of Woe. It was in my sealed deck. Didn't talk much about that, but that card to me is almost rare level good, if not just straight up rare level good. So,
what would you say is your all-star?
Exemplar of Light. That was passed to me.
Easy.
Easy. With honorary mention of the Felidar Savior I already talked about, with how powerful that is to have 3 of those. Exemplar of Light was passed to me, I think in pack 2, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
I'm like, I think, because I'm streaming it no mic, I think I grabbed it and kind of waved it around the screen.
Oh,
I was like, look at this. Look at this. And I'm like, kind of shaking in my seat, like, fuck yeah, we're doing it. We're making it.
Yeah.
So this one I went 3-1 and lost to a black-white mirror.
For the main event. What brings us to day 2, draft 2, where all the money's at. Take it away. Just take it away.
Not a lot of creatures here. That is a thing. And that's okay, because when you're playing blue, most of their best spells are not creatures. So, I got double Think Twice, double Refute, I think Refute, by the way, is the best blue card in this set. Blue common, I should say. Hearted Voyage. That's a card I think you might look at right away and think, maybe I'll play this as one of my last filler cards. No, it's not. It's very, very good. Was Kiora. She wants to try to make that 8/8 busted Kraken as soon as she comes down, next turn. Okay, I have the graveyard filled. Sweet, let's go. So I even had 3 of those Light Shell duos, but I only played 2 because I'm like, 3 is just a little too much, I think. And Empyrean Eagle. That I also I think I got a late one in pack 3. It might have been 6th or 7th pick, and so I knew I wasn't in the right colors once I got past that so late. It's one of the best win rates. I think 60%, if not extremely close, on 17 lands and game in hand win rate. So I'm not going to complain. The win rate for the Eagle is so high because of that. Flyers are just broken in this format.
Yes.
Flyers are too good.
Yes.
And in a color that can kill stuff with Luminous Rebuke, bounce stuff back with Voyage, or if I had one of the sharks that just comes in and bounces something too, it is so good.
I've seen it. I'm telling you from the outside in, and obviously you were no mic, 5-minute delay, you were locked in. But what card that I felt was wait a minute, I definitely want 1 or maybe even 2 of these in my deck was that Fleeting Flight.
Yeah, so that one is randomly just can hose your opponent, and that's I think it's a good combat trick. because it leaves the +1 counter. I think that's a really big deal too. Like you're
Yes.
just buffing anything.
Yes.
So it's a protection spell against combat only. Problem with this deck here and Fleeting Flight is I just don't have enough creatures to kind of justify running 2 of those.
Oh, true. Maybe you're right.
That's
Yeah.
how I felt. So I might have even had an extra in the sideboard.
I only
You know?
brought that up because when I was watching, there was at least 2 games where I felt like everything changed once you played this common that is an instant for 1 white, and it's such a good combat trick. I felt like it changed the momentum of the game, and at least 2 of the games that I was watching, and I was like, wait a minute, it adds a counter. Like the counter stays on. His
Right,
creature
right.
dies, the opponent creature dies, and yours is still super buffed. Not super buffed, but buffed.
No, thinking that this card wouldn't perform as well as it did. In fact, I think you're probably right. I'm sure it performed better than I expected in this draft deck. And,
Mm,
because I'm thinking, again, like my idea is like, well, if I don't have that many creatures to always be able to play it in the perfect spot, well, maybe it's not that great.
right.
Well, the thing is, I'm creating the perfect spot for it every single time. I was always so patient with that card.
Yeah. Anyways, other than like Kiora, what was your all-star?
So the Empyrean Eagle,
Yep.
it has a good rating for a reason. It
Okay.
is so strong to be able to come down as a 2/3. So not even stab can kill it, which is very annoying if you're playing black.
Mm-hmm.
And it buffs any other flyer that you put out is just gonna be able to tussle. It's
So G ended up going to the finals. He did lose in the finals to one of the most busted decks. We're almost unreal busted.
Yeah, it was a hell of a finals. You can again check it out in the VOD on my Twitch channel, and I'll definitely be revisiting that. Really, really awesome mirror match because they were also blue white.
Yeah, it was day 2, draft 2, finals, game 3, $1,000 on the line. It was so epic, and that guy's deck was shit so busted. You guys should
Oh
definitely go
man.
take a look at the VOD because even though G went to game 3, it feels like a win because it just kind of seemed unreal how he drafted that.
Oh, it was so cool. Yeah. And, shout out to that opponent. They were obviously a great player. I'm hoping that that was their final as well and that they won the $2,000 off of that
Right.
because they deserve it. The deck was great. They played great. So, yeah, I put some effort into it and I got there.
And that's what we do here at MTG Misfits. We play for keeps. We play for high stakes magic, $1,000 matches at the end. And this is what it gets you, ladies and gentlemen.
Boom. Yeah, so that's what you'll see at the end there. I went 3-1 with this deck, lost in the finals, very close match.
You guys, click subscribe, like the video. G is running hot and he's not keeping any secrets. He's revealing all on this channel. So you want to get better, you want to pay your rent through playing Magic, you watch this channel.